guys. Happy Monday. It's gonna be a good one. Got all the emotes going. Sup, Death. Hey, Trist. Glad you're in here. Pink Panther cartoons. That's amazing. Abs. You actually made it. Abs. Aw. Thank you. I know. Abs is back, guys. Woohoo! I had such a crazy morning. It took us like 3 hours to grocery shop. We left at 10:30 and didn't get home until like 1. Took us like 10 minutes to even get out of the parking lot at Costco. I don't know what is going on out there today. But we're back. I didn't take out all the ingredients yet because I kind of ran out of time, but it should not be too difficult for me to just quickly grab all this stuff out of the fridge. We're mostly just prepping a lot of cold stuff for our Buddha bowl today. So we are doing the beet cured salmon that I previously did. I took those out of the freezer. So we're gonna chop those up today, nice small cubes to go onto the bowl. You can eat those either cooked or uncooked. So I think Betty will not eat the salmon raw, so I'll end up cooking a little bit for her, which is fine by me. And then we're just gonna boil up a little bit of barley. So I'll get a nice grain in there for our bowl today, but you could also do like lentils or beans as well. You were visiting your children? Well, that's always a good thing though, Abs. That's amazing. I hope it all went well. Jim, you are here. I didn't know what you meant. I was confused on Discord, if you want to know. I need to fix the settings. Okay. Well, they've always been at it. Let's try 700. I feel like every day is literally different. Betty just left to go walk Doggo, so they'll be back in a bit. She'll come and say hi, I'm sure. And so with our Buddha bowl today, we are going to be using a couple different kinds of greens. So we have some head lettuce, and then I have some collard greens that I got from the farm last week. I thought I would use those up today as well before they went bad. And then these beets that we got today, the greens are so nice, and like they're not really wilted at all. Maybe like there's one that looks bad, but we're gonna wash these up and put them in with our Buddha bowl because they just look too good. There's no way I'm throwing those out. And with the beets, the way that we're gonna cook them, we're actually gonna sous vide them. So this is gonna be my first time sous videing vegetables. It's gonna get a little bit crazy, I think, but it only takes an hour, which I think is easy. Pretty much the same amount of time that they would take to roast in the oven anyways. So let's try it that way and see how it turns up. And then we are going to use an apple, and I had one more chayote left over from last week, so I'm gonna pickle those up really quick, just with a little bit of lemon juice and salt and sugar. So we're not gonna heat up the brine or anything like that, just gonna toss it all together, do a quick pickle, and obviously we'll do that a little bit earlier so it has time to actually set up before we eat. And for our fats, I'm gonna do up some nice diced avocado for some nice color contrast too, because that green will look great. And our dressing is going to be a lemon creme fraiche. So we're just gonna zest some lemon into the creme fraiche, and obviously let that sit a little bit too before we use it. So let's say minimum half an hour before you use it, just so some of the oils from the lemon can actually flavor the creme fraiche properly. Timeline for today. So the longest cooking process today is the sous vide beets. I know it's weird, right? To have the vegetables be the longest thing. I know, Trist, it's almost time to move. 18 days. It's getting so soon. So the beets, just over an hour to prep and cook them. And then we'll probably want to cool them down a little bit too before we put them on the bowl, but I'm sure it won't be bad if they're still a little bit warm when we go to eat them later on. Jim, never stop. Never ever stop. Don't hold back. And all of the other toppings can kind of be prepped while the beet is cooking. So the barley will be the second longest process. And it said it takes about 40 to 50 minutes to boil it until it's tender. And all of the other toppings do not require any cooking at all. So we're just gonna focus on some knife skills today instead. And weather today is actually pretty nice, 15 degrees Celsius. It can't really decide what it wants to do. It's like sunny, cloudy, random rain showers, but it's still 15 out, which I think I am super happy with. They're late. I know, class is already in session. What are they thinking? Hey guys. Okay, so I pretty much went over all of the ingredients already today. So I'm not gonna really go through too much of that stuff. Order of prep. So we're gonna heat up our sous vide, and we have to heat it to 185 Fahrenheit. So that's one of the higher temperatures that I've ever cooked with this. But obviously we don't really have to worry about having it well done like a steak, right? So we're just trying to cook the veg as properly as possible, nice low and slow. And hopefully it turns out, like I said, I've never done this before, so hopefully it cooks within an hour, which I think it should. And once our beets are in the water, we will start cooking off the barley. And we are going to pickle our apple and chayote after that, so it has time to sit. Mix up our lemon creme fraiche, so simply zest a lemon and mix it in with the creme fraiche that I have still made. And then we will dice up our salmon. You could slice it or dice it. I guess it depends on what you want. And we will dice up our avocado and process all of our greens. And then I'm just gonna garnish with a little bit of dill today. So we'll chop that up nice and fine. And then kind of near the end, we are going to dice up our beets because obviously those will take a little bit until we can process them fully. Mia, bonjour. Your sub ran out. No. Okay, and two things that we are going to have fun with today. So the balsam that we are going to make tomorrow, I'm going to do up a little bit of kimchi today for it. Obviously, it won't be fermented, but it'll still be fresh. I just bought a little tub of kimchi for tomorrow instead. So this little guy, and this is the cabbage one, but I'm gonna do radish. So a big old daikon is what I'm gonna do instead, and it's a little bit more crunchy. And I think I like it better that way. So we're gonna make up some kimchi today. I don't have all of the proper ingredients. We went to 3 different stores today to try and find like the Korean chili paste called gochujang. Couldn't find it, so I guess we're just gonna use sambal paste instead. 2 weeks for an Amazon Prime sub, I'll allow that, Mia. Let's just be honest. And then the other thing for our balsam is our pork shoulder. It actually has to cure with salt and sugar overnight. So we'll do that last before we eat today. And then that way those 2 things are ready to go for tomorrow. And that's it, guys. So I wanted to divulge like a little bit further into what Buddha bowls were. So I tried to find like if there was any history on it or something like that. So I just quickly Googled how the Buddha bowl got its name. And the first sentence, it says, Bootables aren't actually about Buddha, but they are delicious. So at some point late last year, it says, every green bowl transformed into a Bootable. It happened on restaurant menus, on blogs, and it really, really happened on Pinterest. I'm not huge into Pinterest. I know Betty is, but I guess I never really noticed too much when the Bootable came about. And I've only really made one other one, and it was completely vegetarian, so I thought I would do something a little bit different. I was thinking about like doing a poke bowl too, but we'll do that another time, and we'll do it with tuna instead of salmon. So, food for Buddha was very low key. Who apparently Buddha was actually very thin. What is going on here with these biddies? Johnny Gargano. Hello? Yoink your bit badge now. I will not yoink anything, but welcome to the stream, guys. So the key was to keep food in its place. He didn't want food to take over our whole life, which I guess I'm a terrible person because I think food pretty much rules my life. Thank you for the follow, Johnny. Welcome in. So Buddha cared a lot more about when we eat rather than what we eat, which actually makes sense. So that's a problem that a lot of people do have, is they are eating the wrong things at the wrong times. And obviously everyone's body is different, so you really have to kind of play around with your foods if you want to get it right. So his main rule around food for his followers was that they should eat only during certain hours. And Buddhist monks and nuns have been eating this way for over 2,000 years. I am well, Johnny. Doing well. Ready to start this week off strong. Gonna make some nice healthy dinner for tonight. Tristan, what did you eat? And while there's no specific mention of the trendy Buddha bowl, the Buddha did eat from a bowl, which may have led to today's obsession with the term Buddha bowl. So Buddha woke up before dawn every morning and carried his bowl through the roads or paths wherever he was staying. Local people would place food in the bowl as a donation, and at the end he would eat whatever he had been given. So that was the original Buddha bowl, a big bowl of whatever food villagers had available and could afford to share. And it probably was pretty healthy since Buddha lived before the age of cheap processed food. But it was also probably very simple, so maybe a rice and a simple curry and vegetables. And that's about it, guys. So I guess that does make sense, though, how it's named, because Buddha was kind of given these different kind of things in his bowl every day. So that kind of matches with me putting a ton of different ingredients into our Buddha bowl today. I know, Death, right? I was like, all he did was say hi. I will allow this. Just got done working out with your wife. Nice. That's awesome. Well, if you're into healthy foods, I would definitely check out this Buddha bowl craze, Johnny. Chicken pesto or chicken pasta and pesto. That sounds good, Trist. Classic. How can you beat it, right? Okay, so I have 3 beets here. I'm just gonna go grab the apple and the chayote. I have 1 extra beet outside still. And I'll go grab the collard greens as well, and we will start this whole thing. You're on your way to the next show. What is the next show, Johnny? You work for WWE. Oh man. I had a viewer that is like totally into wrestling, but he just had his last stream with us on Friday because he's kind of short on cash, but hopefully you come back when he's back because I'm sure you guys would get along very well. Okay, just a couple more things to grab, guys. Got our nice lettuce mix. I'm just gonna put this in the fridge. Mama Reagan. Jeffis, what's up? Lurking as usual. Well, I hope your weekend was well. Thanks for chilling with us. We're gonna get started really soon. Okay guys, just gonna set all this stuff up. So here is the collard greens. Obviously they're looking a little bit sad, which is why I was like, I should probably use those up. And I think I might just stick them in a little bit of cold water really quick before we process them, and maybe it will help them just crisp up again. Let's try it out, guys. You won last Saturday? What? That's crazy. I'm not huge into wrestling, so I'm just gonna admit that I don't really know what you guys are talking about. Okay, here's our vase for our little collard green flowers. Maybe they will crisp up a bit while we're working on other stuff. So Trist, we had to go to 3 different stores today just to find strawberries for that cake. It was ridiculous. Redonkulous. Okie dokes. So let's start by taking these stems off. And then all I'm gonna do for the greens is just take this tie off and then just take off the really tough stalks, and then we'll wash up the greens later on when we wash the rest of them. I think, yeah, there was either a shortage or I really don't know, Trist. It's just like an island thing, honestly. Kind of the same problem that Palsh has sometimes, is some ingredients are not always available. But luckily all the stores are like kind of close to each other, so just made us like a little bit later, but I was like, we are getting these strawberries because I need to make this cake. I am so looking forward to it tomorrow. I think it's gonna be delicious. And I'm gonna like spruce it up a little bit. Probably gonna drizzle some chocolate over top. I'm not sure what else. Look at these little guys. These are just like perfection. Little beet leaves. Delicious. Impossible So. Hello. How's your day going? Should have sent Betty. Oh, well, we went shopping together. She was there with me. My little sidekick for shopping, but pretty soon it's just gonna be me. Betty's getting a real job. Going to work in the city. It's fantastic. So these are beet greens. I just trimmed them off of the beets that we bought today. So that, and then typically if the greens are really nice like this, I like to keep them and actually use them, but usually they look something like this, which is like all wilted and not the best looking. But if you can luck out and find fresh ones, they're super tasty. I used to always put them in smoothies when I would get them in Vancouver. So there's a lot of uses. Just very similar to like a spinach, let's say. They're not strong in flavor at all. Just all you want to do is cut off the tough ends. That's it, guys. I think I'll just put those into a bowl for later. I am doing well. Doing really well. Ready to crush another week. It's gonna be a tasty one too. She doesn't need to work. She's terrified. She doesn't like being on here. I don't know why. Okay, let's start by cutting the ends off of our beets. And before I destruct my wooden cutting board, let me just grab a plastic one. Okay, we're safe. And then we're gonna peel the beets next and then actually slice them into more of a thin slice. And I think that's why they can cook so fast in the sous vide. Oh my God, Jim, I'm so excited to see this one. Check in the link, Jim. Daikon Stonehenge. I love it. I've been there, guys. I'm happy to say that I have been to Stonehenge and it was so magical. Really, really cool. Okay, before we start to get our hands all dirty, let's preheat our water in our sous vide. So let's see if this app is actually gonna work with me today. Looks like it. Maybe. There we go. $185 for 1 hour. Start. Okay. Stonehenge in Oregon. See, I don't know anything about that. I know nothing. Oh, at the farm the other day, they were telling me like how good their beets grow there. Apparently they get to like the size of your head if they like miss picking it in the field or something. I was like, that's a little bit large for a beet. But we'll see what happens this summer. Pretty excited to start growing all these things. Doggo's going crazy. No, it's the dryer, the washer is what's going on in the background, guys. I think the coolest thing about going to the farm, like only a couple days a week, is how much I can notice things grow in like just a couple of days that I haven't been there. It's very, very cool to see. The remake of Stonehenge. Yeah, exactly. I know Betty would love the farm, guys, but she'll be busy enough in the garden that we plant when we move in. Don't you even worry. Jim, you need a job? You're broke? Just start streaming, man. Beets everywhere. As a butt inspector. You guys are hilarious together. Okay, so we are going to cut these into about 1/3 of an inch or 1/4 inch thickness, the beets. And then we will put them into a Ziploc bag like always. And I think we'll just drizzle in a little bit of olive oil and some salt. I don't know what's going on, Beth. The boys are wildin'. Okay, let's beat it up. So obviously you want to keep all of your cuts consistent so that the beets cook at the same amount of time. And then after they're cooked, we're just going to dice them into nice small pieces. Like that. So something like that, I think works well. The original recipe that I took this from did it with balsamic vinegar in the bag. But I want to keep the beets nice and sweet today since I'm going to be pickling the apple and the chayote instead. But beets and balsamic are always a really great combo together. Tristan pays in edibles. Yes. Vaders. You guys. Thank you for the host. Guys, Vaders did up a smoked prime rib today. Hey, Vune. What's going on? I know, Mia. Our bros. I was watching them smoke this prime rib this morning. Oh my god. Just sitting there drinking my smoothie at like 7:30 in the morning. I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Give me the meat. Hey, that was not that bad. Hey, guys. Let me wash all of the beets off of my hands, so it doesn't look like I murdered somebody. Okay. Yeah, welcome, guys. Pre-made butter. Do I ever sleep? I always try and get like 8 hours. I typically go to bed around like 10. Sometimes maybe a little bit later. But we wake up at 6 in the morning. Every morning, that's our schedule. Hey, so like I said, just drizzle a little bit of olive oil. It's always gonna benefit. And obviously, if there's like leftover liquids in the bag after we sous vide, I don't think it would be a bad thing if we saved those. Like, you can make up a salad dressing with that. Really do whatever you want. MS, PMS, Miss PMS with the follow. Welcome in. Seriously, View, like every time you pop in, it's just like, today we're having beets. I did it once last week. Plus, they're in season, so I can't help it. They're just too delicious right now. Hello, welcome. How's it going? Okay, let's get a little massage. Make sure everything's happy. Is beetroot in season? Well, it is for us. I mean, obviously you can have it over the winter. It's true, Vune. You are right. Yeah, we just had a stream last week that was kind of quiet with like my typical mods. So Death is typically in here all the time, and I totally trust him to mod for me. He's helped me a lot. So I said, why not? There's nothing to lose with that. Okay. So temp of the sous vide right now is 134. So we got about 50 degrees to go. We're just gonna put those aside. They are all ready. Next thing up is our barley. Vune. Okay, Abs. So beetroot is a late autumn veg, yes, but you can have it over the winter depending on your area, I guess. So it doesn't get super cold here. It typically does not fully freeze the ground. So we can have beets and kale and like all the root vegetables year round. You can just leave them in the ground and they actually become a lot sweeter if they stay in the ground that way, and you just pick them when you need them. Really, really handy. Love that out here, honestly. Vune, you're trying to become a mod, but she doesn't trust you yet. Well, how long have you been in there? Death's just staying busy. He's the mod man. Yeah, exactly, Abs. Lucky us, honestly. Really, really lucky. Okay, so let me just round up the barley. A couple different bags here. But I need about 1.5 cups. They've only been streaming for about 5 months. That's really good. It's nice to know how long these other streamers have been going for, so I can kind of like gauge my growth as well that way. And that's so nice that Sun does all the modding for her. I love his little background comments all the time. Seconds. Okay, so barley. I typically use the pearl barley because it doesn't take very, very long to cook. There's a couple different kinds of barley out there though. So what was the other? There's like a parboiled barley that you can get that takes even less time than the pearl barley to cook, but totally up to you what you choose. I like to choose pearl just because I'm familiar with cooking with it. Oh, really, Vune? That's hilarious. Legend of Kate, welcome to the Cook with Kate stream. Okay, so let's measure out our pearl barley. And these 1.5 cups that I'm gonna make should equal out to about 4.5 cups of it cooked. So you should get about like 6 to 8 portions out of it. I think we might actually have enough with that. Sweet. Perfect amount there. I did have more outside if I needed. Thomas with the follow, welcome. Sexist and vulgar comments, well, I mean, to each their own, right? I try to keep it pretty clean in here. We get a little bit thirsty sometimes, that's about it. Okay, so just looking at our recipe here, we need 3 3/4 cups of water or broth. I think I'm gonna just make up a quick little veg stock to go into it. So I can pour the barley into the pot that we're gonna use and then carry on with that. I think that's very fair. Yeah, I mean, Sam does not care too much about what I do on here either, but I don't think he would like it if people were trying to like bully me, right? Thomas, first time lurker, well, welcome in. You are one of many. So good to have you here. You know what I'm gonna do before we start to even cook our barley is just give it a quick rinse under some cold water, because sometimes it does have sand in it. So instead of us kind of crunching down on the sand, let's just give it a rinse first and avoid that situation. Koala. I'll let my chat answer you on that one. Twitch has a nipple policy. It's true. That's very true, Thomas. These are the questions that keep you up at night. You're crazy. That's good to hear, Death. Yeah, it's always good to hear other people's opinions. Because obviously I can't always watch everyone else's streams, right? Sounds good, Paul. Go crush it, man. The more you crush, the better the food you can eat. Yeah, a curse-free channel. I mean, it's bound to happen. But like I said, to each their own. So I'm just going to measure out 2 cups of water for the stock to start. I'm going to make it extra strong so that after this, all I have to do is add some extra water. We don't have to mix up 2 separate batches of broth. Thanks for the biddies, Paul. Wow. 1 went in. Your luck is terrible today, man. I have to go pick up the rest. Just shooting blanks. Yeah, it's rough out there today. View, you're indirectly the reason why Sushi Day switched her channel. That's unreal. I typically only swear if I get really, really excited or really upset. Other than that, there's not much cursing in here. Yeah, Thomas, Sushi Day is awesome. I wish I could watch them more often, but we sometimes just always stream at the same time. Okay guys, so this is the same veg stock that I've been using the whole time. It's called Better Than Bouillon, and I picked this up from Costco. I think that container is about $8. And this has lasted me like probably a year now. And you just keep it in the fridge because it is organic. But I think that's the good part, is that you know what's in it and it's all natural. It's not just loaded with salt and unknown chemicals. So if you're gonna choose to not make stock, choose a good one that you're gonna mix in with your food. Yeah, I could see playing video games where you can't really help it if you curse. It makes sense, guys. Okay, we're pretty much all dissolved there. Just gonna let that sit for a minute while I put this away. And we're at 153 on our sous vide now. Jim. Okay, so there's our 2 cups. 1 3/4 more. And away we go. Barley is going in. Watch your mouth, Jimmy. Can you guys hear the whistle from that burner? Or is it just me? Let's do this. Let's do a little switcheroo. Yee. I'm just gonna cover it for now so you can kind of bring it up to a boil a little bit quicker. Mia, I was waiting for it. I was like, who else is gonna come in here and say something? It's gotta be one of the regulars. Okay, next up, our apple and chayote. Dreamers die with the follow. Welcome in. Sorry, I missed that earlier. I think my back was turned. Just say sorry. Just say sorry and I'll accept this, guys. I mean, unless it's against somebody, I do not really care if you're swearing or not. You want to swear at me, I'll give it right back. Okay, here's our little chayote, aka little butt squash. Get the sward. Hurry. She's wildin'. So you can see over the weekend how it kind of got these little funny dimples in it when it's starting to go bad. So it's probably a good idea that I'm using this up today. I don't know how long these last for, to be honest. It's my second time working with it. Wakandian. Thank you for the host and for the biddies. What a great way to start the week. How are you doing today? Just a timeout. We have some wild stuff happening in here, Wakandian. Watch out today, guys. Chayote is going bad. It's turning brown. Trist, your computer's acting up. No. Okay, so since this is super slippery, I'm just gonna cut it in half right now. And then in half again so that we can take this pit part out. Which, it's not super hard, it's just weird. I don't think we're supposed to eat that at all. View, interesting. You told someone to F off. See, like, that's swearing in a good way, though. I think that's acceptable. You had a long work day, but the rest of it's been good? That's always good. Starting the week off fresh. Lemon garlic chicken. That sounds delicious. Buttered veggies, yum. Where's Lemon? Is Lemon here? Mia's back, bitches. You had to eat the chayote when you were living in the Philippines? I know, I better process it quick. It seems like it's just seen better days, to be honest. Yeah, Mia's wild, guys. You should know this already, though. Lemon limped off. No, she's back. She is back. She was just away doing some stuff in Cali. But I've been talking to her. So she is alive, just busy. Y'all are wild. So we are going to small dice these. I'm just gonna get a bowl out. I think this will all fit in the bowl. Let's see. Oh yeah. Let's push it, guys. Push those limits like always. And then, like I said earlier, we're gonna quick pickle it. Oh, Tristan, Mia got a timeout. So like I said, we're gonna go for knife skills today, since we're not cooking too much. So we wanna put all of our care into how we process our veg. Small dice this. Thank you. Seriously, spoiled. I know, Tristan, that's so scary. That's why I hate driving, honestly. Did you guys hear about the crash with the Saskatchewan hockey team? You might not have, since obviously it's a Canadian thing, but... Hey, Rush! I'm doing well, man. Doing really well. Just kind of starting the stream off. Getting into our third task of the day. Our barley has just come to a boil. So like I said, we're gonna simmer that for about 40 minutes, guys, until it's nice and tender. So it's gonna go for a while. Orange chicken. I'm excited to make it. I don't know if I've ever like actually made orange chicken, but I've eaten it a lot. It was reported in Europe too. Oh man. Yeah, Sam actually, one of the guys that passed away, he knows his sister. So he worked with one of the kids' sisters before, so very, very small world. So sad. Rush, did you have a good weekend, man? Hopefully when I pickle this chayote, it will not be brown anymore. Try and process it as fast as possible. How is Rambo doing? That's a good question, Tris. We haven't heard from him in a little bit. Obviously they are moving and stuff, but I'm gonna tell Betty to give him a message when she gets back. Because we miss him in here, hey? It's not the same. But there is quite a bit of work that he has to do in the new house, so I'm sure he's been pretty busy with that. This is your weekend now. Oh, nice. When I worked in the hospitality industry, I actually typically had Monday, Tuesdays off, and I loved it. So it was so much more quiet out when you went to do stuff. Like, everyone was at work still, right? Queenie Land. Just watched a rerun of WrestleMania. Nice. Okay, so here we go. Small dice. All of our little chayote cubes. I think the chayote is Pasha's new favorite vegetable, guys. She loves crunching on it. Hot and uncomfortable. You got a babe on the way or something, Rush? Okay, we might end up switching to a larger bowl. I'm sure it will happen. Because this is where we're at already with the chayote. I need to have quadruplets. You're crazy, Tris. How would I be able to stream if I had that many children running around? I know Betty really wants grandkids, though. She likes to put the pressure on sometimes. Just over a month left. Aw, amazing. Congratulations. That's so soon. Obviously, this last month is just gonna fly by, hey? Vune, are we talking about babies or puppies? See, I would rather talk about puppies. Children are kind of terrifying to me. It's true, just have Betty take care of them. That's a good idea, Trist. Okay, onto the apple. We're gonna keep the skin on just so we can have a little bit of color contrast today. I'm not a Christian woman of God. I was actually raised Christian. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. Your sister got a baby girl. Aw. See, I'd rather be like an auntie than I think a mom, but that's just me saying that because I don't know how it is, right? Sex is overrated. See, like, that's what I'm terrified of, Yoon. I'm a terrible person if I don't eat or sleep. So I can't imagine having to deal with that. Like, I think my anxiety would just get so bad that I wouldn't be able to function. that's probably the other thing that's holding me back is like, I feel like I just have panic attacks all the time. It's true, Death. It's true. No kids in the near future. See, like the world is really changing in that aspect. Plus, it's just like the whole cost of raising them as well. Like, I don't know. There's a lot to be thought about on this topic. And a lot of people do have different opinions. But I'm definitely not saying kids are a bad thing. I just don't know if I'm the right person to have children. I'm like a gypsy child. I don't think I'm like stuck to be, or like meant to be stuck in one place. Idiocracy. I haven't. Are you the one that told me to watch it last time? Okay, Rush. So I'm doing up some salmon bootables. So we kind of went over what bootables were earlier. So I guess when Buddha woke up in the mornings, he would take a bowl throughout the village and the villagers would put in kind of whatever they could spare. And then he would just eat simply from the charity of the villagers. And so when bootables kind of came to light, I think it was like last year when they became really big. They're just based on the fact that you can kind of put whatever you want in it. But typically it's just filled with like a grain or some kind of rice or legume. And you can either top it with meat or not. So the last one I did was all veggies, and that was like when I first started streaming, so a couple months ago. But today I'm gonna do a beet cured salmon. So I cured the salmon, what, maybe 2 weeks ago now? Just pulling it out of the fridge so you can see the color. So that's what it looks like. Beautiful red color. We're just gonna cube that up. And then I obviously have barley cooking as well already. And the beets are going to sous vide so that I can kind of play around with sous vide vegetables since I've never done that. And we are going to do avocado, so I'm gonna pickle up these apples and chayote as well. Just have some fun with the different vegetable ingredients instead of just leaving them raw, right? Just a nice healthy meal. That too, Thomas, it's like, do I really want to raise children in this world that we have going on right now? Like, that's what scares me too. Jim. Guys, doggo. Everyone look into the emotes, because here she is. Our little snack master. Oh my god. Jumped out of her mouth, like back onto the counter. Girl, right here. Okay, come here. Good girl. Our taste tester and quality controller. Well, I mean, your life should not get destroyed just because you're having kids. I always say life is how you adapt to changes, so I'll leave it at that, I think. So when you're gonna quick pickle either vegetables or fruits, you can use kind of whatever kind of vinegar you want, or I'm gonna use lemon juice this time, whatever acid that you desire, let's say. And then you'll have to contrast that with both sugar and salt so that it's kind of balanced in flavors. And you can add any herbs that you want or spices as well. And then you should probably let it sit for minimum half an hour before you decide to use it, just so all of the flavors get absorbed. Scooby snacks. That as well, Tristan. Yes, the house vacuum. How could I forget? Me? Your little vacuum cleaner? Okay, so creme fraiche is gonna come out at the same time. So I'm gonna finish zesting this one lemon that I have here. Let's get some lights on since the sun is deciding to not really come out today. Okay, so here's the creme fraiche, still looking amazing. Like, look how thick that got. So good. Just whipping cream and buttermilk. And I think I'm just gonna completely season the rest of this because I feel like we're gonna use it all today. What's up, Killmonger? Spill the deets. Yeah, Trist, it's thick. So obviously we don't want to overpower our lemon flavor either. So it's always good to start small and then work your way up. So I think I'm good with that amount. Just gonna mix it in. And see how much flavor it imparts. And let's say about half an hour. We'll check this again. Food and Friends. I've never heard of that one, Death. It already tastes fresh, guys. Zav, do I remember you? Yes. Do you remember me? Tristan, you got a request. What is it, man? Remember you from Cops? That's so cool, Killmonger. I mean, I'm not trying to get on Food Network. I'm actually trying to like make proper cooking channels. Because I find that Food Network is so staged. Like, they never make mistakes and they never really tell you if something bad happens, how to fix it. And that is why I honestly started this channel, is just to make cooking more real. and inspire people to make those mistakes and learn as you go. Because I do a lot of firsts on this channel, I'm gonna admit it, and obviously it's kind of scary for me to do that in front of all of you guys watching, but at the same time, it's nice to have people that can maybe help me out, that might know more than me, right? You have to stay humble when you cook, because there's always multiple ways to do things. That sounds like fun though, Death. No, Paul. Get your stretches in then, man. You gotta heal yourself. We will have a breakfast stream next week. Sammy and I were talking about that when we went for brunch this weekend. So I think I'm gonna do eggs Benedict, but I'm gonna do biscuits for the bottom. Betty says yeah. So I think that's gonna be a go. Rush, I dyed my hair. I didn't dye my hair. It's just down today. And you know, I was kind of in a rush to get ready, so it's wild. My eyebrows are huge. Thanks, Zav.
Yes, they
are. Oh no, Paul. Those are always the worst days, when you wake up and you're like, something bad happens and I don't know what. Okay, so creme fraiche. Let's put that back in the fridge. And like I said, we'll check on it a little bit later to see how much flavor that amount of lemon zest has put into it. Barley is looking good. So I think I'm just gonna give it a little taste test right now. I'm gonna turn up the heat. It seems like it's almost done. And there's still a lot of liquid in there. So instead of me trying to strain out all of those delicious flavors from the broth, let's just cook it off a little bit faster and see how it goes. Let's do 5 minutes. And then our sous vide is hot, if you guys heard the beep earlier. So I'm gonna put the beets in next, because that's gonna take us an hour. Aw, Paul, licking your wounds, the worst. Shiatsu massage thingy. Oh man, yeah, like when I was in Thailand and I got massages there for the first time, probably one of the most painful experiences. I was like, I don't think my body can stretch that way. So as always, I leave just a small hole open on the Ziploc, and then we're gonna lower this in, and the water is gonna push out all of the air, and then we'll seal it up. This water is really hot this time, so if you're doing this at home ever, just be careful. But there is our sealed bag. Just gonna put the lid on. And the lid helps the water just not evaporate quickly, because we're cooking at such a high temp that the water will actually evaporate quite fast. So it just saves us not wasting as much water. Yeah, exactly, Rush. Like this is, I feel like this is gonna end up being like a big thing. As long as we all stick together. You want to taste Killmonger? I know. It's so good. View and you love getting massages? I agree. They're so good. Can we allow this? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Death. Yeah, we cooking up in her. We're doing stuff, guys. You've never gotten a professional massage? Oh, it's so good though. It's so good, Polish. The hurt, you just accept it. Where the Jesus bowl at though? We don't have Jesus bowl, we have Ebola bowls. That's all I got. So let's get our lemon juiced into our apple and chayote. Keeping in mind to not let any of the seeds get in there. Killmonger. Yeah, we got Interstellar and Ebola Bowl, so I don't know if you can beat that. Welcome in, that chicken burnt. You will soon learn how things go here. Yeah, I can hear the barley. You see the bubble in the pot? It's just starting to sizzle on the bottom. But that's not quite ready. I'm just gonna mix up the lemon juice into here. That way none of this stuff is gonna oxidize either, which is the good part as well. Your dinner is done, Killmonger. Nice. You better go eat it while it's hot then. Just grabbing the sugar real quick. Isn't that a disease? It is. It is, Trist. So a little sprinkle of sugar to contrast our lemon. And then we will salt this stuff. And then we're going to put this into the fridge. And you guys will see just how much liquid the salt actually draws out from the fruits. So we'll go light to start. Yeah, it's our bad bowl joke. We're terrible here. That is true though, Jim. We just tinkered with the spelling a bit. So just make sure everything is incorporated nicely into our quick pickle. And then we'll check on it in a bit. I'm just gonna test the seasoning now. Mmm. Super crunchy, sweet, and salty. Hey, that is it for our barley. I'm just gonna put the lid back onto there and kind of steam it the rest of the way. So it's just starting to stick to the bottom of the pot. Tris, why would I serve a disease? You're hilarious. Sweet and salty, just like Jim. Polsh, you need to just get one. Save up your moolah and get an ANOVA because it is the greatest thing ever. It's my first time doing veg in it, so we'll see how it goes. I'm secretly the Canadian typhoid Mary. What? Well, I'm not going to repeat who just followed me. I will not accept that, but thank you for the follow. I know, that's what I said. Who dey? Oh, wow, Vune. How can you be... Oh, you're happy. I thought you said you're unhappy. Yeah, happy about sunny spring days because the laundry dries really fast. Yes, you know it. Yeah, we cured our salmon with beef, Serpent. That would be an interesting one. Yeah, this is just a, it's called a Cambro Polish. That's what it is. And this one is 10 liters. So we typically call that one like the blue lid Cambro because it has a blue lid. And then the smaller one has a red lid. And then the even smaller one has a green lid. So that's how we know all of those things. Factual Flow with the follow. Welcome in, guys. What, Tristan? I've never even heard of that. Hey, Factual, it's going well. Just prepping up our bootable. We'll carry on. Okay, so our beets are sous vide, done. Our barley is cooked. We just pickled our apple and chayote. The lemon creme fraiche, we just finished. We might top it up with a little extra zest later on if we need. So next thing, we are going to cut up our salmon. And then we still have to dice up our avocado, process our greens, chop some dill for our garnish. And then we're prepping just a couple things for tomorrow as well. Factual Flow, you have an ANOVA at work too. Are you a chef? Okay, so next thing up, I'm gonna grab the salmon out of the fridge. I'm just gonna reuse the pink cutting board that we used earlier, since we only cut veg on it. It's on the way. Holy. Fresh in it. That's good though. Okay, so here's the one salmon piece that I have. When I cured this, I did it in a whole fillet and then just cut it up into 3 different pieces so that you can kind of just take out either 2 or 3 portions at a time, but typically I would just eat it at brunch. I decided to use this up at dinner, so since I need to make like 6 or 8 portions, I just pulled all of it out. So you can kind of see the coloring a little bit better on this one, where the salmon is still nice and orange inside. And then this beautiful pinkish red color on the outside. It isn't, Rush. It is not. So 18 days today we move. You're a line cook? Nice. Yeah, totally. I understand you, Flo. We had one, it wasn't an ANOVA on the front line. It was a little bit different. And then we had like a really, really expensive sous vide that was like $1,400 to do like all of our big prep items in the back of the kitchen. Super fun to work with though, and I think really great product for restaurants just for like being food safe and all that. So I did have a bag here of miscellaneous pieces of the salmon to start, and this has been left out since the last time we did it, so at Easter time, and it's still perfect. Like there's no slime on it, it doesn't smell bad at all, so that's how we know we cured it properly. Because for this to stay in the fridge being like raw salmon, typically it would go bad within a week, right? Is this fresh? This is cured with beets and gin and herbs. So that is why the color is so nice and dark. Get a magic bullet blender off Amazon. I used to use that all the time when I was in high school. I'd bring the smoothie. But I prefer a Vitamix now for bigger stuff like that. I'm just gonna grab out another bowl so I can start to put the salmon in there as I cut it. Oh yeah, the food savers. I'm looking into getting one of those pretty soon, Flo. So for our salmon today, just gonna cube it up nice and small, kind of the same size as the rest of our veg that we've prepped. That way the feel in the mouth, since it is still raw, will be okay. But we will be cooking up just a little bit of it as well. Probably that for you. You'll be okay.
Thanks.
The only thing is when you cook something that's cured, it will turn out just a little bit more salty, so keep that in mind. Really, you got the knockoff food saver and it was still okay, Polish? That's good to know. I've been waiting for the one at Costco to go on sale again. Sometimes it's like 40 bucks off. Oh, exactly, Flo. Yeah, I could not see those working out well in like a commercial kitchen or a professional kitchen. So you want to do nice long swipes along the fillet just to try and keep it intact as much as possible. And obviously only cut up as much as you need. Because typically I would like to serve this sliced nice and thin. So what's for food today, guys? Tell me what you guys are cooking or eating. Just saw that I missed a follow. Just give me a sec. SC, so you welcome and thank you for the follow. That's amazing, Flo. Yeah, I mean, we had a really good one off the start, so I think that saved us a lot of money to begin with. Is Even though it seems expensive, it's not going to break down as many times as the smaller ones. Penne with bolognese sauce, yum viewn. Polish leftover spaghetti. That's amazing. Oh, you guys, at this store today, so I was trying to find the noodles for Killmonger's lo mein. I was in the Asian food section. They had macaroni that was in long strands, like spaghetti noodles. I was like, well, that's like super similar to bucatini, but the hole in the middle was massive, and the noodle was like this long. I was like, I need to remember that this is here, because I think that would be so delicious with like a nice heavy sauce. Lucky Charms out of the box. Yes, Trist. Flat iron steak burgers. Brush. That sounds delicious. Yeah, Flo. I mean, that's kind of the fun part about doing a menu change is it's like you get to learn how to use different stuff. And especially with like how quickly the food industry evolves nowadays with different trends and stuff like that, is you have to stay on par. Otherwise, you'll just fall behind. You've seen it before too, Polish? I got so pumped. I think it was like in a purple or red bag. I was like, I've never seen this before. I'll have to pick it up and cook it on stream for us one day. See what we can make. Maybe we'll just do like a super fancy version of craft dinner. With those noodles. Yeah, it wasn't even Catelli. It was like this weird Italian brand that I've never heard of. Oh man, that color just gets me every time, especially with this apron in the background with it. Exactly, Flo. Like, that's the greatest part. Like, this slice right here is just heaven. Albus, you made it, man. How's your day going? Death, I wonder if I can make this again and actually like send a whole piece to you, because you're not that far away from me. I think it'd be pretty easy to send it to Callie and have it stay proper. We'll see. We'll see, man. Because I know you would appreciate it so much. Where is Anya with Omat? Guys, they're together. So they've been chilling together since, I think, Friday or Thursday. Anya is at Omat's place. They were like messaging me all weekend, keeping me updated about what they were doing. They said they would pop in today if they didn't have too many beers. And I said the amounts of beers consumed would not matter to us. That's amazing, Flo. I know you really never know what you'll find when you start exploring Twitch. It's kind of like getting crazy into YouTube sometimes. It's like, how did I end up here? This is not why I came on here. Oh, she like, well, her food is actually salmon. But I can't give this to her just because it is cured and there's way too much salt and sugar in it for her to eat. So I think it would probably upset her stomach. Sadly. Otherwise, yes, I 100% would give her a piece. She's a little snack master. From the 6, where are you at, Flo? Don't even tell me you live in BC. That'd be so awesome. Or no, from the 6, you're in Toronto. Another Ontarian. Don't get many people from BC, but quite a few viewers from Toronto and area. Okay, so that should be enough salmon for us to eat with dinner. That was the whole 2 pieces, and then obviously we'll make up some bootables in Tupperware containers for people to take for lunches tomorrow. That's how things go around here. So I'll just put the little couple pieces that are stragglers that will be cooked off later on the side. Polish, your cat has a cast iron stomach. Cats are crazy. Okay, salmon is done. I'm just gonna wash off my knife. Oh, why did I read that your cat has a cast iron stomach? You're allergic to cats? Crazy. Oh, like a snow globe? Yeah, Death, we should be able to make it happen, man. Let's do it. Okay, salmon's gonna go in the fridge so it stays nice and cool. Next up, let's do our greens, and we'll do the avocado near the end, just so it doesn't start to turn color too much. That sounds good to me, man. You know I'm all about those trades. I would way rather have that than to have somebody pay me for something. Just send me something in return. Our beet greens. Let's see what kind of medley we can come up with. Our collard greens, they don't really look like they firmed up too much. But we'll just chop them nice and thin. You guys know the deal. We're here. The bowl is here, guys. Do you hear a dryer? Yep. I mean, we can probably close the door. Okay, our sad little collard greens, but we'll use them up anyways. There's no way I'm throwing this out. We'll just chop them nice and thin. Okay. Interstellar. Okay, Rush. Thanks for stopping in, man. You enjoy your weekend off now. Sounds good, Death. I'm so into this. Okay, beet greens going in. Just saw one that has a little boo-boo on it. Probably just gonna toss that piece out. Any that are kind of like falling apart, just toss them. If they're not super dark green and vibrant looking, then it's just not worth your time, but sometimes you can luck out and find them really nice. Like today. So we have half an hour left on our beets in the sous vide. They're just chilling, dancing around in there right now. Oh, you're for sure Canadian Flo. Take it easy, eh? Those can go back into the bowl and we'll process everything together. Okay, so why don't we do our collards next? Nice, Polish. Yeah, I can't believe spinach is so expensive for you there. That's insane, man. It's not right. What do we pay, $3 for the bags we get at Costco? What kind of lettuce have you been buying? So for the collards, we're kind of gonna zip them, just like the kale, which is we're just taking out the really hard stem in the center. Especially if we're gonna eat it raw, that'll be very, very chewy. Vune, our spinach, we get bags of 16 ounces for $3.
Yeah, $2.99.
Just baby lettuce, that's all they bring in. Wow. Avocados are like gold, I know. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, frozen spinach works well for sauces and stuff like that. Oh, I think Doggo would love this. I don't know why she loves the stems from stuff. She's silly. She's actually eating it. It's gone. She's getting her fiber. Does anyone else's dog love to eat like fresh grass when they go for walks? It's like her favorite thing. She's like a little cow. Just goes and grazes. Tristan, it's the collard greens. I know, it's limp. It's sad. But I'll just slice it up super thin and mix it in with the rest and you won't even notice. Okay, next up, we do have this little Asian style greens mix that I want to get rid of because these little clamshell packs do not last very long. And they are so expensive if you let them go bad. Like this little thing, I believe, was more than $5 and I got it yesterday. And we still picked out like crappy pieces of lettuce from it. So we'll line the bottom of the bowl with that stuff. Your dogs never eat greens? Well, I guess Posh is definitely on her way to being a vegetarian doggo then. She's obsessed with veggies. Bread equals meat? That is hilarious. I don't know, we never give Posh bread. So I'm not gonna take all of the greens off of this mix. Just a bit, because we do have quite a bit of the beet greens. So just cut off as much as we need. Which I think that will probably be good. I mean, I guess it never hurts to have washed lettuce in the fridge, so you can also just call an audible and wash it all right now. Since we have time, let's do it, guys. So streams are every day. I actually, yeah, I do Monday to Friday. Here is our next little lettuce growth. So we've planted 4. We've planted 4 of these from buying the lettuce like this, and 3 of them are already growing, which I think is pretty amazing, guys. So not only are we buying lettuce, but we're buying a whole, like, 3 new plants. Yeah, Twitch is awesome, Flo. I've met a lot of very, very cool people since I started doing this. I have to admit that. Just picking out whatever bruised pieces there are. It's true, there are more cooks in the creative section. Okie dokes. So we're gonna wash this stuff too. Oh yeah, the painters are awesome too. I love all the artsy people on here. Okay, Polish, good luck, man. Hope your shoulder feels better. Wish you ego. Just go super light, don't push it. It's not worth the injury. Okay, guys. Rehab work. Nice. Lurk mode engaged. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's start with our collard greens. Gonna just layer them all up and then chop them nice and fine. Probably end up cutting them in half as well, so I'll just kind of keep that split open in the middle. Lynn Vallon, for an artist, We'll have to check it out. Ms. Cookies. I know there's still so much that I haven't even explored, guys. So we flipped that over, put them all together, and then we're just gonna shred this really nice and fine so it'll blend in really well with the greens. Heavy on the makeup, Trist? I mean, to each their own, right? It's whatever makes them happy. Zoe, I just saw your follow. Sorry I missed that earlier. Hopefully you're still here. And guys, guess what? 18 days till like all of the sound notifications and everything work with the stream. Like, it's just gonna get so much better. Okay, so there's our collards. Nicely chopped. Give a little bit of contrast to our greens. So let's do a handful of our mixed greens next. We'll kind of layer the bowl. And then I'll just toss it up so we can get nice layers of everything. Tear it up into bite-sized pieces as well, so you don't feel like a rabbit. Okay, on to our beet greens next. So I think I'm gonna cut those up as well. But I'm not going to go as fine as the collards because these are still nice and crisp. Just going to cut them in half. And kind of chop them how I would chop romaine for a Caesar salad. See what Posh thinks of the beet stem. She says I'm into it, guys. A Dahlstrong Shogun 9-inch. Oh, nice. Yeah, never buy anything full price, honestly. Especially kitchen equipment. Just wait for it to go on sale. But yeah, this knife is beautiful, Flo. It is linked at the bottom of my channel page if you wanted to check it out. It's a little pricey, but honestly, with how much use I've gotten out of it, I think it's so worth it. It's a good investment. Okay, that is our one bowl of greens done. Now I'm just gonna top it up with the rest of these. Give it a little toss around. Oh, Matt. You guys came. It happened. What's up? You got it 60% off? That's awesome. Two dorks watching me. Yes. Yes. How was your guys' day? Yeah, here in person. Still having beers. You have not stopped since day one. Love it. Any fancy beers today, guys? Very fancy. Okay, post links if you want. Okay, this is a heavy bowl of greens, but it'll be good to have extras laying around in the fridge. It's springtime. I'm gonna start eating some lighter food. And I am throwing them everywhere. Classic. Okay, so there's our crazy bowl for our Buddha bowl. Okay, next up, the avocados and the dill. Two bowls for those. These are some large avos, guys. Finally. Okay, let's see what we're opening up to. It's always a mystery. First one, beautiful. Pit's a little large, but if I wanted to be picky, that's about it. Castile Rouge, Lindemans Creek. Is the creek a sour or a lambic? Holy, look at that one, is perfection. The Yink and the Holy Goes. Gozes are really good. Grolsch Winterbach. Brewdog Elvis Juice Grapefruit Infused IPA. Nolinks.com. Those sound amazing, guys. Good mixture of everything. Have to say, the blackberry sour was so good with the steak last night. I always find that the sours actually get better as they warm up too. This pit does not want to come out, but I feel like it's gonna go flying. There we go. A cherry lambic. I think I've had that one before. I remember the name. I think lambics are really like what got me into drinking beer. Can never go wrong starting there. So we're just gonna dice these up. Let's go like a little bit larger than what we've been cutting most of the veg today. All right, Vune, thanks for popping in as always. Hope you got a good sleep. And yeah, hopefully see you around this week. You could also choose to thinly slice the avocado if you wanted, but I'm gonna keep everything consistent. 50 States of Freedom Farm Ale. Oh, nice. Was that one like a Saison? Not a Saison? Word. Okay, this avocado has some issues, but we'll let it stay in that bowl, guys. Flo, you work at a brewery? Publican House. What? I worked at a brewery when I was in Vancouver. And this avocado is like just a little bit underripe. Doesn't quite want to come out of the skin. Classic avos. Either too ripe or not ripe enough. You never know. Okay, let's mix it up too. So we get to use up both of them at the same time. Albus, yeah, nom nom. Oh, guess what? Omad and Anyanis, did you see that the new emotes are up today? It's a thing, guys. Okay, next up, the dill. One of the last ingredients. Let's say about that much is good. And then the rest of this can go back into the fridge. All we gotta do next is pick off the stems. That sounds so good, Flo. Yeah. I love that you guys use the beer to cook with. That was like one of the best parts about working in the brewery. We're like, why would we use wine? Why wouldn't we just use beer? I don't know what is happening with this dill, but it's looking a little weird and leafy. Never seen dill like that before. Guys, dill's gone bad. I know. Trist, you're back. He's back. The dog won't stop barking. Dang. Nice. I used to do a take on a tiramisu flow, and I called it beer masu and put stout into it. Super yum. And then garnished it with like some of the chocolate malt crushed up with coffee beans and cocoa nibs. What's my take gonna be on the cake tomorrow? I'm not gonna spoil it, Trist. But I have some ideas about how I want to do it. It's gonna be fun. Tomorrow's stream is not too crazy. I think Betty's gonna end up putting the pork shoulder in for us again while I'm at the farm. And then we just have to kind of create a couple of sauces and do up some lettuce for the lettuce wraps. Cinnamon infused with beer, not beer infused with cinnamon. It's more cinnamon than beer. So did they fudge it up then? Like, is it too cinnamony? I already did make it, Death. I think that was about 3 weeks ago. Yep, Betty Boop's got our back. She'll cook the porky up for us. Okay, what's next? Our beets have 3 minutes. And then next thing we gotta do is make some kimchi. Yeah, I already made it, but you can go back if you go onto my YouTube and watch it. It's there. Out comes the radish. What else? Do we even have sambal or we just have sriracha? You're asking me. It looks like we just got sriracha. Time to make some stinky kimchi. It's not complex, just tastes like cinnamon and beer. Nice. That'd be really good with a dessert then. So here we have a daikon and the tip of a sambal bottle. So I need a bowl out for this because we have to let it marinate for a little bit. Nice, Posh. You crushed it. You didn't give up. And we're gonna peel this. And it's gonna get stanky in here. That's how you know you're making kimchi. What, Death? I mean, it saves it for 2 weeks max. That's it. But yeah, maybe I can do some research and find out if it will start to save all of them. So I'm sure that would benefit me. But yeah, otherwise everything else I just upload to YouTube every day and have them stored there instead. Oh, Matt, I knew you were gonna say something. You're bad. See? The sous vide is laughing, though. Now you're in trouble. You're about to set the bomb off. Okay, let's pause this. Check our beets. They should be good. Keyword should. Oh yeah. It happens pretty quick, Flo. You'll get used to it. Looking at a Ferrari. Okay, sounds good, Death. Okay, these still feel like they feel a little bit hard. So I'm just gonna take one out, let it cool off so I don't burn my mouth, and see if it just needs a little bit extra time. But I think I'd rather have it like a little bit more crispy than have it be soggy, right? So let us see. We'll continue with our daikon as we wait. So ends are coming off. That's a new one, Posh. Daikon. Something's happening with the mod settings. What you talking about? Nothing's even happening right now, man. It's withholding your messages. The heck? Okay, so we are going to chop this up pretty small. It's really up to you how big you want your kimchi. So typically you would want something like bite size, right? Just so it's easier to eat. I'm gonna go a little bit smaller than that. Oh, that was a terrible cut. Terrible, guys. Okay, that one we'll deal with later. So next step, Oh yeah, she's always waiting for food's flow. Let's say before we start processing the rest of the daikon, I'm just gonna take a bite of the beet. They're for sure done. Super, super earthy this time. It's gonna be delicious. So I'm just gonna leave the bag open like that and let them cool off before I cut them. Sous vide can come off. It has done its job, so that took an hour. So pretty much the same amount of time that it would take to roast them anyways. Intergalactic, yeah. She's there. I'll just do this instead. That is her.
Aw, that's so cute.
Okay, so on with the daikon. Just gonna slice nice long strips of even thickness. And then we'll dice them up later. And then the two end pieces. Put them on top of one of those. Boom. Now we're gonna dice it up. I'm gonna move that over as well. Oh, Matt, chassis gone bad. That's it. Let's put that into our bowl before I run out of space on the cutting board. Uh-oh. I distracted our beautiful stacking. Oh, Matt, I don't see them either. I really don't. So I don't know what's happening, to be honest.
I see them.
Well, I just seen the one that came up. Oh, totally serpent, yeah. I mean, she's 11 now. She knows the drill. She knows all of the smells in the kitchen, I'm pretty sure. But typically, if there's something crunchy being chopped on the cutting board, she'll just be standing here beside me waiting. She says, I like snakes. She's a really good vacuum, though. That's the best part. Is anything that drops, she's got it. Yeah, she got one. You saw it, Death? Make food for the dog? Yeah, that's a good one. Serpent, are you Canadian too? It's 2 people already of my viewers today that said A. I'm loving it. Okay, kimchi or daikon has been processed. So next up, I put the recipe up in Discord for us if anyone wanted to make some kimchi on their own. So I'm just gonna bring it up for myself here since I didn't do that earlier. And the next step here is we have to kind of let it sit with some salt and sugar for, I think it's about half an hour. But that's okay because it gives us time to also prep our pork. So this recipe said 4 pounds of daikon. And add 2 tablespoons of salt and 2 tablespoons of sugar and set it aside for 30 minutes. Then you drain the juice, add garlic, ginger, green onion, fish sauce, and hot chili flakes, and about 1/3 cup of the juice from the radish. So let's not pour it down the drain. Just a sec, Killmonger, I'll get you the invite. I got you. Okay, that should link you to the server if you want to get in there. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar. I know it seems like a lot, but we're kind of curing the daikon, right? As we're fermenting it, so you need those strong flavors. Yeah, hot chili flakes are #1. There's the sugar. Fill up my little jar. Killmonger, how was your dinner though? And our salt. Toss that up, and then you'll see just how much juice actually comes out of this when it sits for half an hour out. It's insane. But we need it to draw the moisture out so that it ferments properly. But I suppose while those are sitting aside, we might as well just slice up the beets, hey? You're eating pudding for dessert. Delicious. Thanks for the biddies. Okay, time to beat it up. We need another plastic cutting board so we don't destroy this one. Let's do yellow this time. love your guys' car chat in here. It seriously does not bother me. Pretty much what I grew up with Frank and Rando around. Bagel with natty peanut butter and chocolate milk. Nice, Polish. I mean, sometimes it just feels good to eat simple food like that, though. Never kick yourself for doing that. It's nice to eat intuitively sometimes. Okay, so we're just gonna make nice little cubes. The beet did cook up really nice in the sous vide. Pretty stoked about that. Some slices of neighbor liver, yeah. I know he's still alive over there, guys. Decided to cut his grass at 7 o'clock this morning. Like, what are you doing? Do you even know how to society? Have I ever made borscht soup? Well, lucky for you, Serpent. I am half Ukrainian and Polish, so yes, I have. And it is one of my favorite things ever. Definitely will be happening closer to summer when our garden is plentiful with all of the veg that we need for it. But I have been craving it lately as well, so it's funny that you ask. Should have gave him the finger. Just walk outside in my house coat. Just give him the finger, walk back inside. Have never talked to the guy in my life, but that sounds like a good idea, Tris. Just gonna start terrorizing him the last 2 weeks. Probably not gonna cut off all of these beets, guys. Just gonna do enough to kind of fill this bowl. I mean, it would totally be okay to eat them sliced as well. Death, thanks, man. Thanks for the biddies, guys. It's looking good. I know, I kind of just want to like keep eating slices as I cut. One for me, one for them. I think cooking them with the balsamic vinegar, though, would be really, really good. Done this way, and then making a salad with the slices. That was the original recipe that I based this off of. And then they used the beet greens in the salad as well. So double duty. Polish. The war has begun. Love you guys. Seriously, thank you. Serpent. Going back to the borscht, do you typically eat it with meat in it or not? I know this is a topic that people like to debate, whether it should have meat in it. Paul's just one ahead of him. I didn't even pay attention to that. You just eat it without... Okay, so we typically do as well. We usually just keep it vegetarian.
I did put a pork hock in.
Oh, pork hock.
It was so good.
Betty says pork hock, and I believe it. That would make the broth really, really good. Was it smoked or just...
It was
Oh.
really good.
Betty with the tricks, guys. Smoked pork hock borscht. Okay, our bowl is getting pretty full. I'll do up the last couple of larger slices. Sounds good, Flo. Thanks for finding me. Look forward to seeing you on here more. Hopefully the Raptors have a good game. Yum. Just casually eating this slice of beet, guys. Mm-hmm. They're like perfectly salty. Totally gonna make a dressing out of the juices in that bag though. Probably a balsamic version. Sounds good, Flo. We love all the newbies. Because we got like a good amount of juice in there. Yeah, I feel like you kind of have to start young with vegetables and like figuring it out almost on your own instead of trying to be forced to eat them. And typically kids that were like surrounded by gardens, I think, do love vegetables a lot more. At least that's what I would think. Okay, so our beeties are looking amazing. There's a white one driven by in Scottsdale by an Italian restaurant owner. It sounds fitting, Tris. That's insane, Pauls. Yeah, I actually meet like a lot of the line cooks that I've worked with don't touch vegetables at all. And like in my head, I'm just like, how have you survived this long without eating any vegetables? Yeah, exactly, Death. You can't tell me nothing. Okie doke. So kimchi is chillin'. I don't think we're gonna get to finish it on stream together, but it is posted in Discord so you guys can see the process of it. And I'm just gonna set a 20-minute timer so I don't forget about it. And next thing we gotta do is our pork balsam. And then that's it. We're gonna plate up a Buddha bowl and we're gonna munch. I just need to see, it's just sugar and salt that we're gonna rub on the pork shoulder. Just wanna see how much. So 1 8 to 10 pound bone-in pork butt. I don't have a bone-in pork butt. I have boneless. And then 1 cup of sugar and 1 cup of salt. Holy smokes, that's so much. 1 cup of each. It's getting dirty. It's true polish, yeah. That's so surprising. Like, that's all you can find, and most people don't even like any of those. Earthy?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, beet.
on the beets.
Hi. Here is the meat. Meat cam. Going in. That marbling though, guys. So I think I'm gonna start with like half a cup each of sugar and salt. So I don't think this is an 8-pound pork shoulder. Really, Polish? Well, at least she trusts you to cook for her. Is it the doc? Yes, oh Matt. Silencio. New box of salt, my friends. Oh, that's the worst. Yeah, I hate when people at restaurants automatically just salt or pepper their food without even tasting it. I'm like, how do you know that you don't, or that you didn't just ruin that dish? Like, come on, people. Okay, so we are gonna mix the salt and sugar before we start to put it on to the pork. Like, that's an insane amount, guys.
Is there enough time for showers?
I'm just doing this and then we're ready whenever. Go quick. Tristan, that's kind of like Vancouver. Except all of the cars in Vancouver that are exotic, they all have new driver stickers on them. It's terrifying. Tristan, you got a date? Give this a little stir around. We're making the Bo Sam.
Bo Sam, that's me.
Yeah. Bo Sam. Okay. We're sprinkling. So you want an even coating all around. Obviously I'm going heavy on the top, but I'm gonna let it go flow over the sides and kind of pat it on. Thanks for the biddies, Death. Just inching ahead, man. And I think this is gonna create like the greatest crust ever tomorrow. It's gonna like season and caramelize at the same time, guys. Polish. You guys are killing me. And this dish is actually from a restaurant called Momofuku. If any of you guys know who David Chang is, he's quite a famous chef. And this is an item on one of his menus. And they actually sell it for about $150. And it feeds about 4 to 6 people. So I'm actually gonna calculate all of the costs on this and see how cheap we can actually make it for. Because we should be able to do it for at least like a quarter of the price, I think. Oh, exotic cars are very common in Vancouver.
Too common.
Yeah, they're too common. It's scary. And I don't understand why, because there's nowhere in Vancouver that you can even drive fast. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, they do along the bridge and then they get the car taken away.
Yes, Anye. Season up the pork with some cocaine. And whatever is kind of extra on the side of the plate, just press it on. This might work, and it might not. What's happening? What are you doing, Killmonger? Okay, we just have this one butt end here. Have I ever cooked opa? What is opa? Is it a fish? Must be.
Whoa.
Oh my god. 83 cakes. Thank you.
So many cakes.
We love cake. It's true. We're gonna make some tomorrow, guys. So it's 2 inches thick and 1 pound. But you got the tail piece. I mean, it's really up to you, Death, how you want to cook it. Typically skin on always comes out a lot more juicy, so keep that in mind. But if you don't want to deal with kind of breaking it down afterwards, after it's cooked, then for sure fillet it. Is it more of like a firm fleshed fish than fatty? Six cakes that didn't hit the floor. I mean, they've got a better average than you, Polish, though. Just saying. Okay, I think we're good. I'm just gonna pour on the rest of this. Call it a day. We're all seasoned up. Oh, Kevin, your Danish pancake puffs. Yes, I was wondering about you. Was $10 enough for the cake? Yeah, Trist. I mean, the cream and the strawberries were the most expensive part, but that was still less than $10. Your very bad picture of them. Well, at least you got a photo. I'm excited to see how they were. It's from Hawaii. Okay, let me look it up real quick, Death, while I have a clean hand. Did you guys eat oppa when you were there? Holy, it's huge.
I don't think so.
Okay, moonfish. Okay.
I don't think so. It's huge.
Is this your first time eating it, Death? If it's your first time, I think you should just keep it really simple and just season it with salt and pepper. That way you kind of get a taste for the flesh. And then next time, if you enjoy it, jazz it up a little bit more with some familiar ingredients. But typically the tail end is a little bit more tough. Just so you know. So there's a little bit more connective tissue and stuff in there. Is the fillet pretty consistent with thickness throughout though? Thomas, most of this salt will cook off, so pretty much just because this is such a thick piece of meat, that's why we're kind of seasoning up ahead of time. So you can go from 6 to 24 hours with this. And just these flavors will be imparted into the meat a lot more than if you were to just season it up like 10 minutes ahead of time. Perfect, Death. Yeah, so I mean, if you wanted to kind of cut it up where it starts to taper off, and then obviously cook those at different times, it'll turn out really good, or at least I think it would, rather than keeping the whole piece together and having one end really thick and one end really thin. So obviously the thin end is going to cook a lot faster. Okay, so this is just going to go back into the Ziploc bag that it came from. And it's going to go back into the fridge to sit overnight. So I'm going to just be over by the sink for a sec. And then also, I think the like thick layer of salt and sugar on the pork is gonna help make a really, really nice crust tomorrow. So that's the other benefit from that. And all we got to do next, guys, is just build up our bootable. We are ready to roll. 2 inches thick. I mean, I always like to fry my fish in a pan just because it gets a lot nicer sear on the outside. Like, I would start with some veg oil and then finish it with butter and like baste it a little bit. And then basting it with the hot butter on like the thicker piece is also going to help cook it at the same time on the top. I'm not a huge fan of baking fish just because it is a dry method of cooking, right? So it typically does dry out the outside a lot more. Taco Bell Trist, don't do it. Don't do it, man. You go find one of those legit taco places that I know you have over there in Arizona. I said that very sternly.
You want me to do it? I can move some stuff around if you want. It's those chickens.
Hey, I'm here. Let's do this. Yeah, that's some thick fish, Death. So it depends on how hot you're gonna cook it in your pan. If you're gonna go really, really high heat, then you can cover it a little bit at the end to just kind of steam it to finish. But if you're gonna go low heat, I would not cover it at all. Just let it sear up really nice and slow. Don't try and force it if it feels like it's sticking to the pan, because that means it's not ready to flip. But yeah, start with oil. Season up your fish beforehand with salt and pepper. And then just finish with like a little bit of butter afterwards and baste it, and it should be really, really tasty. I'm looking forward to the photos too. This is a learning experience, guys. Am I cooking a meat cake? No, I was just prepping the pork shoulder that's gonna be roasted tomorrow. So I just kind of dry cured it or quick cured it with salt and sugar, equal parts. And then that will be roasted up to do lettuce wraps. Okay, time to build. Get all of the things out. No problem, Death. That's it. So let's toss around our pickled apple and chayote, and I'll give it a taste. It's been sitting for about an hour or so, I believe. But they've held their color really nice, haven't turned brown or anything like that. Super crunchy and delicious. I'm just gonna bring all of the stuff over in front of me. see if you guys can get a look at this spread. Okay, so avocado is this guy. That's our salmon. That's beet cured in this bowl. Our mixture of greens. So we have collard greens, mixed greens, beet greens. I think that's it. Our beets that we sous vide. And our pickled apple and chayote. And then this is just a little bit of dill for garnish and our lemon creme fraiche. So it's just creme fraiche mixed with some lemon zest. Definitely think we put a good amount in there because I can already smell the lemon aromas, so we don't need any more. And then what's on the stove is the barley. So you want to get a nice bed of greens on the bottom there because keep in mind everything's going to weigh this down. So don't be afraid to stack it up. I'm gonna give our barley a little fluff. And this barley was cooked with vegetable stock. So it doesn't taste as bland as if you would have used water. Super tasty and moist, not dry, and honestly really filling, I would say. So we're gonna kind of keep everything in its little compartments in the bowl. So make sure you leave enough room for everything, guys. What do we want to do next? Create some color contrast. Let's do the beets next to the barley. And I think before I cover all of the greens with the veg and fruits, I'm just gonna do a little drizzle of our creme fraiche underneath. Just so it's not as difficult to kind of mix up later on. Then I guess we could also use some of the liquid from the beets being sous vide. So it's just olive oil and beet juice in there. So next, let's do a little pile of avocado. I don't need too much extra fat on here. Thanks, Death. And beside the avo is gonna go our salmon. Next up, our pickles. Then we'll just do a nice little drizzle of our creme fraiche over top. And this isn't super heavy like a sour cream. It's a lot lighter feeling. Which is why I think it would be delicious with this bowl today. Polish. The fight is on. Then we just garnish with some dill to bring everything together. And I think that's a nice little healthy bootable, guys. Simple yet delicious. Ash, what do you think? She says I'm in, guys. Okay, quick photo, and then we shall try it. Yum. Albus. Pulse is running low. He can't do it. Okay, where do I want to start? Just try and get a little forkful of everything. Totally using my fingers right now. Oh God. Okay, putting this in my mouth is gonna be really fun. He's just tricking you to death. Okay guys, I'm going in for the bite. Watch out, world. Mmm. The tarragon flavor from the salmon is so good with everything in here. The barley definitely gives good texture and will definitely be filling for this dish. The beets are still pretty crunchy, but like in the right way. It's not like gross crunchy where it's like starchy feeling still. And then our kind of apple and chayote pickles, really like fresh and tasty. Obviously with the lemon juice in there, it kind of brings in the salmon and the avocado together. And then our lemon creme fresh just helps to kind of coat everything and make it all happy. Once again, really good dish. Pretty pumped about that. Guys, we are gonna go munch. I'm gonna finish the kimchi after this. And that is it. I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. We are doing BOWL Sam, which is a kind of roasted pork shoulder. Really simple, just salt and sugar roasted. It gets caramelized a little bit with brown sugar near the end. And then we make lettuce wraps out of it. So I bought some nice lettuce that is wrappable. I could not find any of the bib or butter lettuce anywhere here today. We went to 3 different stores, so we'll be just using a nice little leaf lettuce instead, and then we're making our kimchi for that as well. And then for Tristan tomorrow, we're doing strawberries and cream jelly roll cake. You guys, thank you so much for all of the bits today. The heck, great way to start the week. Albus, yes, we'll see you tomorrow. Everyone else, have a great night. Thanks for watching Cook with Kate. Don't forget to visit my channel page and check out all of my social media pages and get in on our Discord if you feel like chatting with us or just exploring some of my recipes. Just click on the link on my page and you will be good to go there. Good night, guys. Should we raid someone? I didn't even look if anyone's on. Is sushi on? Okay, let's go do Casey Master Beast.
Nice name.
We're going in, guys. He's making pot stickers. It looks delicious. And beet salad. We're beating it up today. Oh, Matt. Night, boys. Don't have too many beers. That's a lie.